Today we're going to be talking about an infuriating game that's unforgiving, consistently pits you against enemies that feel like uphill battles, and requires pinpoint technical accuracy in order to progress. What? No, we're not talking about fucking Dark Souls. In today's humble opinion, we're on the ropes in WWE 2K16. WWE 2K16 is a wrestling simulation game developed by Visual Concepts and Ukes and published by 2K. 2K. It's in the name. Get it? It's a joke referencing EA's catchphrase. And it's fitting because this game apparently was a joke referencing EA's tendency to push out crappy games all over its unwitting consumers. And when I say crappy, I mean if you could smell what The Rock is cooking, you'd be saying, "Woo! That's a shitty fucking game." To which the humble monthly would reply, "It doesn't matter what you think about WWE 2K16. You already paid for it, and that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so." Now, if you can't tell by my overuse of WWE catchphrase references, it was kind of my guilty pleasure growing up. I grew out of it eventually, but not before enjoying some of the titles that came out for the PS2. And to be honest with you, that's what I expected. I wanted to have the same amount of fun that I had dicking around as my favorite wrestlers as a kid. I wanted to get swept away in all of the over-the-top dramatic bullshit that it's known for. I fully expected to pick it up and play it to death, but I barely managed to put a few hours into it before I wanted to rip my hair out in an I am bred tier rage. So what brought that out in me? Well, let's start this by prefacing the fact that I struggled to make it through the tutorial on normal. And you can say that that's to be expected coming from somebody with the name JonathanIsBadAtGames, but you don't understand. The tutorials didn't cover basic movement at all, which is a whole different can of worms to deal with after the tutorial. It taught you how to play all the little mini games related to grappling, countering, and getting out of being pinned, all of which require reaction times on par with tourney level Street Fighter professional play. Seriously, I think the window for successful counter is like 5 frames, much less this rotate your right stick until the blue zone overlaps the red zone bullshit that gives you a whopping 3 seconds to manage such an unrealistic feat because the enemy's red zone has the advantage. Besides that, the basic controls are left unknown. I tried to look them up, but I don't play with an Xbox controller, so I don't know what most of these do. I tried to experiment around with a little success, mostly because the computer players know what the hell they're doing, being they're programmed that way and all, and keep you in a chain of perpetual getting fucked over until they decide the round ends. The lack of explanation doesn't end there though. For instance, in this tag team match, I tried to get my teammate into the ring and was prompted to press L1 to tag him in. Instead of doing that though, I pressed L1 and climbed onto the corner of the ring several times consecutively. I finally managed to tag him in and then got disqualified because it never instructed me on how to get out of the ring. Fun and engaging gameplay mechanics. Not only that, but I never seemed to be able to jump off the corner of the ring to actually do anything once I got up there. And I pressed almost every button, so you know, I just don't get it. Accomplishing anything in that game felt like a miracle. It feels less like playing a wrestling game and more like playing Octodad or I Am Bread. Now you could argue, LOL, get good. And that's a fair enough point, I guess, but my counter argument is that I think requiring such a ridiculously high skill curve to perform even the simplest of tasks completely misses the target audience. I have a hard time believing that WWE is marketing the esports level of play. I just don't think it's in the fan base. People who buy and play this game are people who like watching wrestling on TV and think it's cool to be able to play it out on TV. They don't want to spend hours of their game honing their skills to become the most elite wrestler. They just want to load the game up, body slam a few people, and call it a day. Much like actual WWE wrestling, they aren't in it for the skill, they're looking for the showmanship. They want to act like wrestlers and the mechanics just don't fit that. They're clunky where they need to be fluid and seamless, and it makes the game pretty much unplayable. Now, of course, gameplay isn't the only thing the game offers. There's a lot of content ranging from unlockable wrestlers to videos of their career highlights. Their character creation process is pretty in-depth and offers loads of entertainment. But at the end of the day, it's just not a very good wrestling game. It's awful. Normally you can find WWE 2K16 on Steam for the outrageous price of $49.99, and if you haven't guessed, no, it's not at all worth that. I mean, it's a price that you can expect with the graphics and the voice acting and whatever the hell this is, but in terms of experience, it's severely lacking. Even $5 would be pushing it for me, but that's just because I can't stomach playing it anymore. Its lowest sale price is $12.49 currently, but I'd say do yourself a favor and just don't. Gameplay for WWE 2K16 earns a 3 out of 10. Its core mechanics are woefully overtuned to the point of making every experience rage-filled to the point of crying blood, but the actual amount of content in the game is pretty staggering. Too much so for me not to take it into account. There are tons of fun game modes, career options, and a detailed character creator. The voice acting is pretty decent, and visually it could be worse. But that doesn't make it fun to play, and it is in desperate need of mechanical tweaking. Nothing else is going to rescue it. Value earns a 1 out of 10 because what it offers actually drags the bundle in a negative direction. The bundle has quite a few strong titles, which makes the flaw of this one stand out even more, making it seem like an addition meant to inflate the price that they can say you saved by buying it. It's a disservice to fans of the IP, it's a disappointment to anyone who's nostalgic over the older games, and it's a clunky, ridiculous mess to most anyone else. The composite score then is 2 out of 10, or an F+. It's bad. Really bad. And the only thing keeping it from being scored any lower are the dressings surrounding the atrocious gameplay. I definitely expected better.